Well, fountain pens are not for you if. I want to go over a few reasons that you should think about if you're either planning to get into fountain pens or if you're already in fountain pens and the situation has changed for you. So maybe fountain pen does not remain as the best tool for the job. And yes, I am calling fountain pens a tool, my friends, a tool. That is. Number one is if, or rather, number one is not just if, it's about fountain pens are not very convenient. And yes, you can say I want to plug in a cartridge and I can throw this around in my bag because it's a pocket pen, blah blah blah. I get it. But you know it what I'm talking about. These are not very convenient, especially for example, if you are writing at an angle where your notebook is going to be like this. That's not going to work, right? With most fountain pens it's going to be a problem. So that's definitely one that you need to take care about. So your lifestyle matters, ink matters. Most pens, especially like for example, if a gold nib pen is your jam, you are going to think 5 times before putting a pigment permanent documental archival ink into a gold nib pen. So for example, I've got gold nib pens, but I can't do that. I can't just bring myself to do that. It's very hard for me. So I use a Lamy Safari and a Pilot Kakuno with the permanent inks. These are both of these are amazing pens, not very expensive compared to the other pens, but at the same time, if let's say there are problems with that ink, if things clog up, I know I'm not gonna be shitting like for 5 months. If that happens, I can go out and get a new one without getting a bank loan. So that makes a big difference. So convenience is extremely important to you. This is not gonna cut it, right? Now another thing is, look, there's a rabbit hole with fountain pens, and this is something that I guess a lot of people instinctively know, but they don't know, right? Like I got into fountain pens and I knew there's a rabbit hole because there's a rabbit hole for every single thing. There's a rabbit hole for pencils, for God's sake. But you get pulled into the fountain pen rabbit hole so quick. It's like instant. And it's deeper than a black hole, it's bigger than a black hole. It takes everything. It takes literally everything. Your every single waking moment. It takes uh, possibly even every single dollar in your bank account as well. So it's gonna be important that you know that that exists. And then there also exists an ink rabbit hole. I don't know if I should call it a rabbit hole because these holes are big and deep, and it's gonna be very difficult to get out of them. It's very hard to get out of them. So it makes a strong reason for you or for me or for anybody to really consider fountain pens, in my opinion. But these things are awesome, and those deep dive rabbit holes are also really awesome. They are extremely rewarding. But then I think because fountain pens are so awesome, those rabbit holes do exist. Otherwise, they wouldn't have. So that's another one. If you are somebody who's a low maintenance person, for example, if I leave any one of my fountain pens completely inked, don't write with them on and off on a regular basis for let's say 10 months, they're going to survive it, but the ink is going to dry up. Ink is going to dry up inside the feed, inside the nib. It's going to be a problem. I will need to clean those up. I will need to, whatever that problem is, I'll need to handle that. Now, I have kept a lot of my pens unused, fully inked for months at a time. But this is for long term. But think about it from somebody's angle who's never used fountain pens. Think about it from the angle of a ball pen user. They're not expecting to do that even in 3 years. Like I've got ball pens that have been lying around for 2 3 years and I just put them on paper. There's of course a hard start, but that's all. And it starts and I don't need to clean it, I don't need to wash it, and it's just fine. Pencil, even better, right? So these are gonna do that. These aren't very like easy maintenance in that sense. So we need to do regular cleaning, regular maintenance. The handling has to be, and when I say maintenance, I also mean how you handle these, because you can't handle these as rough as you do a ball pen. You can throw ball pen at people, you can't throw a fountain pen at people. One, it's gonna hurt them real bad. Ball pen in most cases is not going to, but also it's, look, if I drop this pen right now, your heart is gonna skip a beat. my heart is gonna skip 5 beats because it's my pen. It's gonna possibly give me a viral video as well, maybe. But then this pen is unusable right after, right? The ink is gonna be everywhere. My dog is gonna be furious. It's the nib is probably gonna be done for, right? So these aren't your typical pens that you can drop, throw. And yes, I know people say, oh, it's Kaweco Sport, it's a pocket pen, I can just throw it in my bag, I can just throw it in my pocket. No, they're not throwing it, they're keeping it in their bag, possibly in a pocket above the notebooks, the secret zipper pocket, or they are keeping it in their journal tied with a band like this or a holder like this, or they're putting it in their pocket and using the clip to tie it into place. They're not really throwing it in their pocket, because if they throw, they know ink is going to be everywhere. So it's high maintenance. Fountain pens are high maintenance, my friends, and especially with Kaweco Sport, it's a great pen. I really love it. But the way the cartridge or the converter fits, oh yeah, I'm not going to be throwing this anywhere, right? And a lot of people, I'm sure if you own a Kaweco Sport, you've had that experience. The converter just falls down, and then there's ink everywhere inside the barrel as well. And there are multiple pens. It's not just Kaweco Sport that does that. So extremely important to think about all of those kind of things before you take that plunge. Or if you are at that point where you are starting to wonder if fountain pens are really for you, and you're already in that fountain pen hobby and you want to explore something like a pencil, if you maybe want to explore something like let me kind of do something that's gonna boil people's eyes off, a ball pen even. Say no to fountain pens, say yes to a ball pen and a pencil if those things matter to you. If not, well, welcome to the party, welcome to the big rabbit hole. Say bye bye to your bank account, say bye bye to all the money in your bank account, say bye bye to your mental peace, say bye bye to your YouTube watch history, because everything is going to be about fountain pens, everything is going to be about paper, everything is going to be about inks for the foreseeable future, which is decades and decades, hopefully. I'll see you guys next time.